what she is doing for students on the spectrum. So let's welcome Dr. Levy.
Hi there.
Hello. Oh, I can't hear you. Traven's going to work on that for just a second. Well, I'm going to read some of the awards that she's won while we work on the sound. She specializes, as I said, in tutoring program for individualized research-based tutoring with children with specialized learning needs in grades pre-K through 12. Dr. Levy's 5-year research study on alternative strategies for teaching reading comprehension found her winning a 5th place Westinghouse Science and Talent Award. That's pretty impressive. In 2017, she was selected as one of Bergen County's commission on the status of women honorees during Women's History Month, very much deserved. She's spoken nationally and internationally on various education topics and writes regularly for education publications. And do we have her sound yet? We're working on it still. Oh no. Oh, I think I heard you for just a second.
Okay.
Okay, Traven, can you turn it up just a little? So is it Dr. Levy or Dr. Levy?
Dr. Levy, thank you for asking.
Levy, sorry about that. So Dr. Levy, we're so excited to have you this morning.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, you've got quite a lot of credits here and a lot of different areas of topics that we're super interested. Tell us what you're doing and what you want our audience to know.
Sure. Well, our specialty at EBL Coaching, where I'm the founder and director, is providing one-on-one tutoring to students who have special education needs, including, of course, students with autism. We do a lot of work with students who have autism. And what we specialize in is really building core academic skills, reading, spelling, writing, math, executive functioning skills, using the right combination of research-based multisensory techniques that are most appropriate for each student.
Amazing. There's so many things in there where I'm sure that our parents are like, because this is a pretty pivotal time of year. I'm a former teacher, and we did a show a couple of weeks ago about how to make the most out of the summer, how to get the most success. And I think that summer's an ideal time to catch up on things that have been dogging them the previous year and get ready for the next year. So I imagine you're pretty busy during the summer with tutoring, am I correct?
Absolutely. In fact, summer, as you alluded to, is such a great time to work on building these skills because we don't necessarily have those constraints of school and homework that needs to get done. So it really gives us that opportunity to spend a lot of time developing and building these core academic skills.
And a lot of times when I talk to parents, it seems like they feel they're not empowered. They feel like, oh, I'd really like for my child to be doing better, but I don't know exactly what to work on. I don't know how to work on it. Maybe the tutor that they want to go to is 40 miles away and that they've got other children they have to shepherd other places. It becomes really hard. But you even do things virtually. In fact, that's one of the ways that you can work.
We absolutely do. In fact, in a way, I would say that was a silver lining that came out of the pandemic.
Amen.
In that we were able to really develop amazing technology and electronic resources that we use with students when we provide one-on-one virtual sessions, which really allows the sessions to be almost as though the student and the tutor are working together in person. So to answer your question, absolutely, we're doing a great deal of virtual tutoring, and it's allowed us to not only help students in the New York, New Jersey area, but to really expand nationally and now really internationally to help so many more kids who have autism and special education needs.
And so if somebody were to call and say, look, I need tutoring, are they going to get you, or they might get you, or you have staff that also do this with you? How does that work?
We have staff, so I don't do the actual tutoring myself, but I try to speak to every parent, and oftentimes I'll do my own evaluation of the student as part of my role as the director of the program, and I do that virtually as well, just to give me a picture of who that student is. I also like to read any IEPs or other evaluations that have been done to, again, give me a whole picture of who that child is and to help me work on who I think the best match would be for that child. And just to tap back into what you were saying about parents not really knowing how to help their child or what to do, we really find that the more we can work as a team with the family, in addition to with the school, the better. So as long as parents are open to it, we find it really helpful for us to give materials and tools for parents to work on in between sessions with their child to reinforce what we do during the sessions.
Absolutely. That's the way you get the maximum out of it. But I love that, you'll meet with them to kind of go over what kinds of things. So a parent can come to you not even knowing for sure what they want to work on, and you'll help them to figure that out.
Absolutely, yes.
But I gotta say that one of the biggest things that we've all learned is that reading comprehension is a big stumbling block for a lot of our kids. That if they're, you can be working on all kinds of things, but if they're not understanding what they're reading, it can really hinder them. And that I think a lot of the things that I see at school, they're not working on the reading comprehension in a way that's really useful. So talk a little bit about what you do to work on reading comprehension with your company.
Sure, absolutely. We do a lot of work with reading comprehension. In fact, many students, I'm sure you know, who have autism tend to be fairly strong with more of the mechanical aspects of reading and writing, decoding words, spelling. But when it comes to reading comprehension and inferencing, drawing conclusions, abstract language, that's a real challenge for them. So it is a very big part of what we do. It's a skill that, as you know, affects essentially all aspects of school, including math. And there are many strategies that we use. One strategy, just to give you an example, is a highlighting strategy that we use. It's research-based, where we teach students to really become more active readers. So they learn to read a passage, then they learn to go back and highlight the topic, which is usually 1, 2, or 3 words describing what the passage is about, and they highlight that in blue. And then we teach them to highlight the main idea in green, which is what the author is saying about the topic. And then we talk about important details. What is an important salient detail? What is not? And we teach students to highlight those salient details in yellow. So we're not only building reading comprehension skills, but we're teaching students to actively engage with the text, to become more active rather than passive readers, which really helps them on so many levels.
Well, I think everybody who will watch this will now want to work with your team. Where do they find you? Where can they find out more? How can they get started?
Thank you. The best place really is our website, which is eblcoaching.com. There's lots of information on how they can reach us, lots of articles I've written, blogs that I've written, but most importantly, it's the best way to find out about us and to get in touch with us. We also have handles on Facebook and Instagram under EBL Coaching, so that's another outlet as well.
Okay. And then, nobody ever likes to talk about cost, but clearly there is a cost associated with this, and as there are with any tutoring that you guys will do. So give us an idea for virtual coaching, because I'm sure that it's different based on who you're working with and so on and so forth, but give us an idea of how, or can you? Am I being rude asking?
You're not being rude, but it varies so much on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
We do try to work with families who have different financial means if possible. There are some situations like in New York City where families are able to get the Department of Education to fund the tutoring. So it just varies so much on a case-by-case basis. So the best bet would be for the family to reach out to our office and we can have a private conversation about that.
Wonderful. I love that answer. Okay, and then, is there, you work with from pre-K up through 12. Is there anybody that isn't a good candidate for you? I would assume that we need to get a little bit of buy-in from the student to want to do it, and that the parents can work with you to make that happen. But do you find that there are certain things, prerequisites that you want in place before working with somebody?
Well, really our specialty and the students we're able to help the most are students who are struggling with a skill or with a set of skill, whether it's just reading or reading, writing, and math, or executive functioning skills. Our specialty is really not test prep or taking the A student to an A+, but it's really helping those struggling learners to build and to remediate their core academic skills. That's our specialty, and that's really what we can help so many students do.
I love this. So again, it's EBL Coaching.com, did you say?
Correct, yes.
EBLcoaching.com. And then, so the first conversation that they have with you, that's a free conversation, right? To see if it's a good fit and to find out how much it would cost you. Wonderful. And you are based in the New York, New Jersey area, but you're taking clients all around the globe.
Absolutely, we sure are.
So for those of you in India or Pakistan or Dubai, you're not let out of this. That's so great because, you know, a lot of, there's a lot of tutoring stuff that has to be local, right? And then there are some other virtual ones, but they're only in the United States. And I find that a lot of people from around the world are asking for help. And this reading comprehension piece, so critical. What else do you want to share with our viewers before we let you go today?
Well, I think that a big part of what we do is using a multisensory approach to teaching. So we don't just focus on one modality or just work out of a workbook, but we really try to engage those senses, the visual, the auditory, the tactile, kinesthetic, which helps so many students to thrive academically, but especially students who have special education needs, including learning and attentional challenges. It's really the best way to help them thrive.
I'm sure you've got some amazing success stories too. Do you want to share one or two with us? What comes to mind?
Sure. Well, there's one that comes to mind that actually happened fairly recently. One of the first students that I personally ever worked with, which I'm going to age myself, I feel like, but was one of my first students. He was a kindergarten boy who had severe ADHD and severe dyslexia and could not read at all, was jumping up and down through every session. I didn't know what the future was going to hold for this child, but just recently his mom reached out to me and told me that not only did he graduate college, but he went to graduate school and is now working as an engineer. And that was just music to my ears.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Well, I hope that people will go to your website, check out what you have available, because now is the best time. And I'm sure that with your help, they can identify a couple of things to work on during the summer that will jumpstart you for the fall and into your education next year, you guys. This is how you make up ground, this right here. And if you are not somebody who has an educational background, it's so much better to go to an expert and have them help you, but you need to participate in it as well. As the doctor was just saying, that they'll give you things to, if you want to work on at home, to go hand in hand with what they're doing to get even more bang for your buck. I just love it. EBL Coaching. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.